Hello everyone, welcome to my presentation about the pulmonary ventilation of lungs. In this section, I chose my paper tape, a slim one, and some color pens to create these two models for both of the inspiration and the expiration process. Can you tell which one is for the inspiration and which one is for the expiration? Okay. Let's just begin with this figure. You can see these are the paper tape I stick together to make the thoracic cage, including the ribs from two ribs number 1 to number 7 and the first ribs number 8 to number 10. These are the floating ribs, and these are supposed to be the vertebral spines. Here is the area for the sternum, and the costal cartilage is also presented by the same paper tape. And in the other models, it's almost made in the same, but you can see the figures between this human body has some little differences, but that doesn't matter too much. You can assume that these two person is the same one or it can be different. I use this color pens to draw the respiratory system, such as the lungs. It's presented as the gray area, and the respiratory tubes. Here is the trachea. Here's supposed to be the pharynx, and here's the nasal cavity and the oral cavity. I also use the same pink color to describe the diaphragm, and the external intercostal muscles is not showing here, but you can see the direction it makes. Let's talk about the inspiration process. Oh, before this, we need to introduce the key concept of this chapter, the pressure gradient. As we all have known, the pulmonary ventilation in lungs is mainly driven by the pressure gradient. And the air is just like other fluids. It moves from the area of higher pressure to area of lower pressure. And the flow of air into or out of the lungs both require the pressure gradient exists, and that is the differences between the atmospheric pressure and the alveolar pressure inside of the lungs. In the inspiration process, we can look at it in several steps. The first one is the muscle movement. So the muscle action in the inspiration is the contractions. The diaphragm contracts, and the external intercostal muscle contracts as well. So the diaphragm contracts and moves downward toward the abdominal side, and the external intercostal muscles contract to lift the rib bones upward and outward. As a consequence, the thoracic cavity is expanded because of this muscle movement. And the lungs expand too due to the adhesive force of the pleural fluid between the lung and the thoracic cage. Then the pressure gradient is created. The pressure changes. The expansion of lungs decreases the intra-alveolar pressure to the level below the atmospheric pressure, and the air flows into the lungs because of the pressure gradient. In contrast, the expiration process begins with the muscle relaxation. The diaphragm relaxes and the external intercostal muscle relaxes as well. So the diaphragm in this figure, you can say it moves upward to the lung side, and the external intercostal muscle, it makes the rib bones downward and make it contract inward. So the thoracic cavity contracts too. The volume of the thoracic cavity reduces, and following that, the lungs recoil to the original size. They become smaller, and these are the original size because the lungs has a elasticity of the lung tissue allows them to recoil to the original status. Then the pressure increases because the space inside of lungs is reduced. The intrapulmonary pressure rises up to the level above the outside atmospheric pressure, and the air is expelled from the lungs through the respiratory tubes because of the pressure gradient. Other extension of the um, pulmonary ventilation, we can talk more about the types of breathing we can choose. So the first one is the quiet breathing. This is a breathing process occurs at rest. It involves the diaphragm and the external intercostal muscles, as we discussed previously by these two models. And it most of the time it requires no conscious thought, and it might consume it might not consume any energy. And the diaphragmatic breathing is a deep breath. It requires the diaphragm, the contraction of the diaphragm, and it also depends on the diaphragm relaxation to make the air passively leave the lungs. And the coastal breathing is a shallow breath because it requires the contraction of the intercostal muscles. As your intercostal muscles relax, the air passively leaves out the lungs. And the last one is the forced breathing. This is also the way we practiced during the exercise of meditation or yoga. It's also called the active breathing because it requires you to make the conscious breath control, and it also needs the assistance from the muscles from other areas like the neck and abdomen. The questions are supposed to be answered by me. Here's some examples. The first one, what are the benefits of forced breathing? Here are some certain benefits of forced breathing, and these are the reasons why we are encouraged to practice this in some activities. The first one could be it can make your physical performance better. Because the forced breathing allows you uh, to enhance the exchange of gases, and that can increase the level of your um, uh, blood oxygen level, and enhance your carbon dioxide removal, thus to support a better muscle function and your muscle endurance. And it can also strengthen your respiratory muscles, such as the diaphragm and the intercostal muscles, to improve your respiratory function even at your rest. And then it's a good way for stress relief. Question two, what are the other factors influencing the breathing? Uh, in addition to the pressure gradient, here are some other factors, such as uh, the airway resistance in your respiratory system and your lung compliance and the surface tension of alveolar fluid and the elastic recoil of your lungs. For example, the elastic recoil, that means the ability of the lungs to return to their resting state, which affects your expiratory process. For example, if you are a heavy smoker, you might lose the elasticity of some tissues of your lungs, and that can bring troubles to your elastic recoil and make your uh, exhalation more difficult. Question, how long the time you spent in making these models? Models, I spent almost 1 hour, and in addition to that, about in the process of choosing which topic and which material, I used another 1 hour before doing these two models. Okay, this is the end of my presentation. Thank you for watching. Happy holidays.